Kanuga. India would as a when you have Nejizia naked nap on the mother, Nejizia not on the mother, Nejizia ne reposi, Degaron, Degara Aya, Hagazia, Romado Lelole, Hanaego, Jerome Wanya Garon, and Repoa. So they can. Ndị weba dozi isi webata abịa ga n'ime ọhịa ebe ndị agha ebe ha bi adịka nwere otu esi na ozi na lekwelekwe ihe a chọrọ ime then ha agbafochie then ite ha ji eshighe nri uwe ha ji adịla ihe niile ndị ọzọ ha na-eyuzu nọcha ebe ahụ ahụchara ya ha na-ekwu na ha ga-ejishi ike gazi ime ọhịa niile nọ site Airport Junction gawa Ihite Medike na aja ọkpala na ọhịa niile n'ebe ahụ na ha ga-agazi gaga enyocha ya na-enyochazi ọfụma enwe ndị ahụ fara maka ime ihe dị otu a ndewo maazị ya bụ otu o si dịrị n'Imo steeti na
kwa Imo steeti ga-akpọrịcha ihe niile anya na-agbara ji ntị egere ndị be ndị ọla ọsọrọ aka na ndị ma ha tie n'isi aka ịbadị ma dị ndị ọsọ ha chekwa obodo ha chekwa taa na chekwa vileji ọsọ etọọla Mazi Jonathan ndewe adị m happy na ịkwụ onye ụzọ ebe a so kwetinye ọnụ ndewe
ndewo ọwụ ihe mwute that ndị ba ndewo ọwụ ihe mwute that na be anyị ndị be anyị wụ oke n'ụlọ ihe ha na-eke ike n'ụlọ sometimes the thing na-agbacha mgharị buru ike gị a kpọrọ ndị a gawa ndị a na-egbuchi anyị ndị shi eshi bịa agada emenwu ya caller on WhatsApp please go on. Can you hear me? Call on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? I don't know whether you can hear me. Yeah, go on, please, go on. Why?
Mgbe ụfọdụ enwere ihe na-eme egbukama mgbe a na-agba mgba nna m na-akpọrọ m akpụta na-eche agba mgba ị gaghị ekwe ka onye ga-ada mgba mata aka mgba gị maka ya mata aka mgba gị ihe eche gị ebe ahụ ị gaghị enwe ike isi ebe ahụ enweta ọ ga-adị mma ege kọsara ihe ndị a n'ikuku arị usoro ọnụ ga-eji ebu agha merie ka aghịrị ikwukwenye n'ikuku ka gbara onye ahụ ama isi ihe ị gaghị gị ime amam ihe ọzọ ga-esi n'ime ya apụta onye m saka m rụtụ m aka. Now, my dear brother, I heard when you referred to the Opium War. I have had a lot of arguments with a lot of ex-British officials. From time to time, I tend to come in contact with some of them here in California. And eventually, some of them, they will come to the point where they would agree that the British government has committed lots of atrocities in this world. They pretty much all they have done all along is just stealing, plundering, raping, committing all kinds of atrocities. It's a means of acquiring wealth. And they did this all over, especially Africa and around the world. So the Opium War, as you referred to, I remember when Mini came up, I wrote something on Twitter now known as X. And I asked, why now? It is another weapon on the block. That's how I saw it then. That was about 2 years ago. And I asked that our people pay attention to this, and I analogized it to what you referred to, which is the Opium War. So in this very thing, in our own case, from what I've read, there are factories now in our own communities where this is being manufactured. So the approach to eliminate it has to be different. In the case of Chinese, what they did was they made the trip from England to China a white good chase, a lost cause. So opium wasn't yielding anything anymore. So that was how China defeated England in that aspect. So when they realized they weren't making any money anymore, it was nothing but a loss to them. They quit. And one thing from time to time when I remember that, I say to myself, someday we will say this. When Hong Kong came, when England handed Hong Kong back to China, and the leader said that finally 150 years of shame had come to an end. That's people who doesn't forget the past. And that's the only way you can have a formidable present and the future. You don't forget your past. There are things that give me a lot to chew on. That statement gave me a lot. That finally, 150 years of shame have come to an end. Would anybody have any doubt that there is no way in the world today that the British government can challenge the Chinese government? They can't change. It's impossible. But back then, British government, Britain was the Great Britain, almost on the whole world. The sun almost never set on the British Empire. Stealing, plundering, doing all kinds of evil, which they continue to do today. That 1884, 1885, sharing of Africa, carving Africa into sphere of influence. All of them, they want it to stay that way. And they will stay that way unless you fight back and say enough is enough. Because that's what is enriching them. Biafra is enriching them. So anybody expecting that they will suddenly let Biafra go, that person is a joker.
Of course.
That person doesn't know history.
You are completely right. We force them in every way. That's it. Go on, Mazi.
That is how it has always been done. They were forced out of the United States of America of today. It was even during that time that suddenly they realized that there are people in bondage in the USA, and they said, if you slaves fight for us so that we win, then we will give you freedom. We give you British citizenship. You do this for us, we give you that. But they didn't realize. Where do we begin and where do we end it? Our people need to strongly pay attention to what has happened in the world, to realize that what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has established and what IPOB is doing is the way to our heaven. It is Biafra, because heaven is on this earth, not any other place. When we establish that home where our individual talent, the special talent that we will have the freedom to be able to bring it to its greatness that will make Africa great, that will make Biafra great as well as Africa. Then we'll be in heaven. No other people will do it for us. Our democracy will be our own democracy, not democracy from any other place in the world. It will come from our own understanding of how we want to live, and we put it, we package it. Whether we call it democracy or whatever name we want to give it, it will be ours homegrown. Why would politics be local and then democracy will be something that will come from international? Does it make sense? To me, it doesn't make sense. So, in the case of Mini, good that the places where it's been manufactured, it's been discovered. We need to come up with a way. Chinese did the Opium War by making it, like I said before, turning the British journey across the sea a waste of time. So in this case, in our own case, because it's a war, they want to defeat us by any means necessary. I'm not going to. I know things that are on my mind. Our own way to defeat it is there, and I believe we have capable minds, we have capable brains, we have capable body, and we will defeat it. Then fight to be free. It cannot be given to us. If it's given to us, it will not be freedom. It will be another form of bondage. So I will stop there and say thank you very much. I'm continue to guide all of us until we get to our destination, which is Radio Biafra. Thank you.
There were Mazi.
Yeah.
There were Udodrege. You've said it all. There is no way the subjugator will leave. There is no way the colonizer will leave until he is forced to do so. That is the thing. Let me caller on direct line. Can you hear me? Please go on. There we go.
Thank you so much, sir. So, with my first about the presentation of your today's interview, I actually want to start by asking you a question. I know I'm calling a direct line, but if you see me, so I'll reload and call you back again because some things are meant to be cleared of air. So the question I want to ask, when you say we need support, we should support, when you're making reference about those levels who are establishing the McDonald's and whatever they want to call it. So I just want to ask, who are we looking for to support us? Are we looking for, I think it's about the outside civilized nation that we know they can support in their own little ways, whichever way. But down here, who are we looking up to support us? That was my question before I start my contribution to my suggestion.
Yes. Can you hear me? Are you hearing me? Mazi, can you hear me? Mazi, I don't. Yes, I know. Are you hearing me? Okay. Support we need from Biafrans. That is it. From Biafrans of all walks of life. Both businessmen, both in our people. You must not be an IPOB member in order to support what we are doing. This is it. It's very simple. Because some people might be thinking that, look, ESN, I got now support for ESN, $2 na PayPal. Mazi Namdekano even made a plea to the extent going so low that if everybody will be paying $1 per month, it's still nothing. But what I'm saying is this: there are our people that, because what we are fighting for is for everybody. Somebody can make contact and say, look, I want to support this struggle, but I have my businesses, of which you should know. Now, please, I don't want my name to be mentioned. That is how things are done. It happened in different ways. When Taliban were waging their own war, they were raising funds. They were not even coming on air or coming public. People were supporting them. They are admirers. I think a report was from Middle East or from we are in Saudi Arabia. They were raising only that place $100 and something million every month or every year. So why should our own be different? During the Zionism struggle for liberation of establishment of Israel today, you see, people gave generously, even secretly. Somebody gave in 1940s gave a sum of $1 million at that time. Maybe $1 million at that time, the equivalent would be maybe up to $100 million now dollars. You know. But our people, that is what I talked about as civilization. Our people don't understand the importance of fighting a collective battle. That is why to the same people that killed us. Because we thought that we will survive, we can survive individually. Look at today, after more than 50 years, we are still back to status quo. Why can't we do this thing once and for all? That is my point. Mazi, please go on. Sorry for keeping you. Go on.
Let's try this line. One is this. You talked about civilization as the center point of your presentation today. Now, can it be possible to do away with religion in association with the fulfillment of this civilization that we're looking or anticipating to emancipate ourselves from this complacency of not, restoring Biafra, which we have been fighting for about a decade now? Can religion be set aside on this? And why I'm saying this is that if religion cannot be set aside, I want to bring it to our notice that the primary challenge we are having from those people who we think from the local, side of the nation to support is because they have been influenced in one way or the other by religion. Now, let me tell you something. Those who believe in religion, listen to me. You remember that Christ said to those of them in Christendom, because I know the other ones have their own scripture quoted there that is helping them to do whatever they want to do in their own freedom. Now, in this area now, Christ said something. He said, you don't need the crowd, but you need just that 12 disciples. Now, if I should ask a question again, how many director of state, how many people might have the seat of director of state? I think there are more than 12. If there are more than 12, if you calculate the media warriors, calculate the IPOBs, we are more than millions. Now, do we really need the help of this idiot? I'm sorry, forgive me. You people should forgive me for cursing you, but I was glad to do that, but I'm sorry about that. Tonight I'm not cursing any person. Now, do we really need crowd to move this quest? Because I've overheard you people, sensibly saying that a state without power, either biological power or whatever power, cannot get this thing right. We need power to sustain this pressure to get ourselves out of this. So if I'm not going to disclose, we know what we are doing and you guys are doing it perfectly okay. I don't need God to come and tell me that director of states and people like you, the ministers on the platform, are doing right. And the media, no, you people are doing right. But what I'm saying is that most of us in our platform, this night I opened our platform, one of our platforms, I saw one of us quarreling each other, insulting each other. I was just laughing. I said, does it mean that what Paul said in the scripture is true? Some people suck milk and some chew bones. Because if you understand what the director of states are doing on behalf of IPOP and of the Biafrans, you will understand that it is not like they can't have power to say, okay, let's go and battle this mess out. But we need to know that even after who you think he has gone that Nigerians are supporting, it's nobody to stop the rivalry that is going against the people of Biafra in getting the economy judiciously shared among ourselves to get ourselves out of this economic shrink. But it is all about us reasoning in this direction to understand we are a people that have been mapped out to be a stooge against the European exploitation against Africa. So it is also good we realize that we are meant to calm down and bring up all the witty knowledges we have about following these people up. Because if I should ask, there are people, if I can we share the idea of what sit at home down here in the localities. And also, there is our leader, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu, initiating with the help of the Director of State to get a body called ESN, not IPOPMA, ESN, and they are flourishing, working perfectly. The whole world knows them that they are not terrorists and they are doing perfectly okay. I think it's in the same.
My brother, no, your airtime is finished. But let me say this, the restoration, Biafra restoration, what we are doing is a process. It's easier spoken things. Word is very cheap, but to transform it into action is where it is hard. As I say, imagine controlling millions of people. It's not easy. Just imagine your family. If you have family, just imagine your own family. Controlling your own family. Imagine how hard it is. Your children. That is human being. So what we are doing is a process. A Biafra restoration is a process. And we must go according to the mentality of our people. That's why this media is very, very important. Because we need to convince our people beyond reasonable doubt that what we are doing is the best that will save us as a people. That is the way we are going. That is it. And that is why we, the Nigerian government, they understand the mentality of our people, and that is why they are unleashing criminality in our land. Why? In order to confuse our people so that they will loot, they will hate what we are doing and say, our people, we are very, very easy to confuse. Very, very easy. I want a mentality of children. I used to say it. Very easy. But since we are putting common sense in us through this platform and the other media warriors, I think many of our people are understanding. We need to be thinking in a sophisticated manner. Let us understand when the enemy comes. Let us understand how to digest information, how to ask mental questions. That is it. And we must continue. Caller on signal, please. Can you hear me? Please go on. You have been here since 11 minutes. Caller on signal. Mazi Madabuchuku, can you hear me?
Use any container you like, as long as it's not plastic. Next, we'll add some clothes from India. They play a crucial role in our
Caller on signal. Mazi Madabuchi, can you hear me, please?
Yes, my brother, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, go on, please, go on.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for picking my call. Good evening, Biafrans and lovers of freedom. My name is Ifan Chukwumadabuchi, and I'm reaching you from the Netherlands. You see, my brother, what you treated about civilization, it's a beggar's belief that in this 21st century, in 2024, 2024, where we are talking about science and technology advancement, even agricultural revolution or revolution everywhere, and we're encouraging it in Biafra land. So it begs the question, what type of civilization are people bringing to our land
when they are destroying our youth, destroying our society and our future? How do you grow the next generation of bricklayers, the next generation of electricians, the next generation of mechanics, vulcanizers, doctors, engineers, lawyers, teachers, nurses, etc.? If you are poisoning or making our youths as young as ever being drug addicts, how do we grow the next generation? What is this with our people and money and of what church anyhow go na Biafra land, not go and bring poison. If you don't know, hard drug is poison and it has been used against targeted population all over the world, and our own people who we are fighting to liberate are bringing the poison to our homeland. Shame, shame, eternal shame. God forbid bad things. What is all this? Anyway, my brother, please, in the issue of when we are talking about civilization, the people who ruled Nigeria since 1970, let's start from there, because if you go over in the Civil War, they will talk about, you're talking about the bitterness of the genocide. But let's say people who ruled Nigeria since 1970 from the oil boom, they must have gotten some knowledge, even if they were generals and genocidists, they must have gotten some knowledge and civilization according to the time. They must have grown old and wiser. Why am I saying this? It is in the news that General Olusegun Obasanjo, Ibrahim Babangida, Abdul Salami Abubakar, General Guzo, etc., are having a meeting in Mina, Niger State, or so. These are elderly Nigerian statesmen, in quotes, because I'm saying particularly Nigerian, because all the names I've just read, there's no Biafran among them. This is who are so old and wise, should be old and wise enough to know that Nigeria, which they fought and killed for, has failed, never worked, is not working, and will never work. Now the question is, what will they do in their meeting and after their meeting? Continuing to reinforce the failure that is Nigeria, or face the fact that Nigeria has failed and support the division of Nigeria into at least 4 emerging countries, namely, according to my own opinion, the Republic of Biafra, Hausa Nation, Middle Belt Republic, and Yoruba Nation. Now, they could still influence, because if they do it now, they could still influence events. On the other hand, will they continue to support the failure Nigeria for their own selfish interest and vainglory? Tomorrow and the future will tell. And I come to the matter that is in our hearts, after our first lady, our Lolo Uchechi Okukano, after visiting our leader, what he said, that the health of our leader is degenerating and he is not being allowed to see a physician. Nigerian government must now release our leader Mazi Jonathan Chinedu to attend to his deteriorating health. We shall not accept the story of natural causes, for it would be a case of premeditated murder, because you would have knowingly and willingly denied him medical care. And we won't agree. We not go agree. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what can I say? Make hay while the sun shines. Don't let Mazi Jonathan Chinedu die in your detention. Release him. Just give us referendum for Biafra. You cannot build a country with force of arms. It has never worked in human history. And they said this to Biafrans. Support the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, the movement. Support our cabinet, that is our Directorate of State, who are running the affairs of the indigenous people of Biafra. Support the restoration of Biafra so that we will build a nation we will love and work for. God bless Biafra. Thank you, my brother.
There were Mazi. We must continue. Let me see. Caller on also, please hold on. Let me try to pick this call on direct line. Caller on direct line. Can you hear me, please? Caller on direct line. Are you there? Please make it as brief as you can, please.
The short time. Everything at time. If there's a popular, coach Adam at the parents. People don't understand that that is not the kind of country. Get him free after him. You want to that is what better than the kind of thing for them. So that everybody will be there. I think people don't know. I think people, I think people to release our that occasion can very soon for me to be free. And then all of us are fighting here. Let us hear from the royal Shike. I'm like Shike. Then the can you can I know more. Obraka no Obraka. How many times is that definitely the time? But then, you don't tell us on the starting of telling you. At the time that you kind of there. That will affect somebody for us to be got. But I said, as the new people who don't want to support PSL, shut all of you. PSL will be president in a lion. Let's go ahead. I should be working for a magnet tower. We saw. I got put on a 5% jug. I'm not talking to that is the secret and everything. I have coming from all my life. 24, 22, 23. So, I don't talk about some of that there. So, the president come on the top of the I don't know. I don't know. Okay, just cannot go for what
Thank you very much. Caller on WhatsApp. Can you hear me? Mazi Obasi. Can you hear me? Please go on. You'll be the last caller.
Loud and clear, Mazi Jonathan. My greetings from here. My greetings to all Biafrans all over the world. My name is S.E. Obasi. I have really been touched with your program today. And sometimes, let me tell you the truth, sometimes it's difficult to call in your program. You don't make it easy for some of us to call because at the point you want to call, it's like you've said everything that is there to be said. So we don't even know what to actually add. And I mean, when you call. So thank you very much for doing such a great job. There is this, I want to share an aspect of a particular movie that I believe will tie down to some of the topic that you just said. Just a very short part. There is this movie, the NBC movie it's a series actually, that they call The Blacklist, that was starred by James Spader, created by one of the greatest NBC writers, John Kinkham, sorry. In one of the episodes, Raymond, which is the name of the star, Raymond Reddington, was actually in prison, and one of his chief transporters, one of the people that controls the transportation of his consignment. Raymond Reddington in this movie is a serious criminal, wanted list, number one on the wanted list of every country. But this man, upon returning from the short prison that he went to, realized that one of his transport guys had made so much money compared to what they usually make from that route. He knew something was wrong. Called in the guy, and then they found out that this guy has used his channel that he actually used for criminal business, for criminality. Yet, because this man was found to have used that opportunity when his boss was not around to pass in meth, this particular drug that we call upurumiri, this meth, that is the only reason. And he told him that you cannot use my route, my truck, my warehouse to transport this. I am not in the business of meth because it's a poison. This American writer find this part so important in one of the most criminally minded movies in order to sensitize their people, in order to send a message against such drugs. That you can do everything, you can sell guns, you can do gun running, you can sell information. They know somewhere, somehow, their country benefits from those illicit activities. But they found somewhere to insert it that the sales of meth should not be done even by the most criminal of all American criminals. Our movie makers who have a lot of part in shaping the mentality of our people, especially the youth, are busy accepting funds and money from places they shouldn't, and are promoting Biafrans as the people who only make a lot of money by doing rituals. They rather focus on promoting our tradition as the money. They participate in promoting the fact that when we go home for Christmas, that people poison us, that there are witches who don't want us to do well in our own village. That is what our brothers who are proud of taking over the Nigerian movie industry, only proud by mouth. Funka Akindele's movie series that just aired for just short time made more money than all of them together. But yet, they said they have modernized the Nigerian movie industry. But what positive change have you used that as a civilized person to implement in our land? What campaign, apart from that somebody is doing a money ritual, somebody has killed his nephew for returning to the village for building good house or for coming back with car, or that at the end of every movie of such wicked elders, Jesus Christ somewhere, somehow, always wins. That is what we are focusing on. If the movie industry that is occupied by our people will focus on just this mess, in a way that truly shows that it is bad, we will not even need to fight one person and it will go. That is how we should become conscious of our land and do things for ourselves. IPOB is doing a lot, but everybody can do something. If you are making, focus it there. If you are doing any of your skit, not only the gogo that will make people laugh, do things that are going to change life in our communities. We are all in this. Believe in IPOB or in Biafra or not, the people that are wasting their lives are your kin and kind. We should care. And those of us who are Biafrans should not look away in trying to call out these evil people. And lastly, Mazi Jonathan, the issue of civilization that you spoke about. When you were speaking and I was listening, what came to my mind is, from your analogy, you can really tell that those people who come from, figuratively, Abeokuta, to live in that part of Germany and turn it to what they used to have in Abeokuta, is really actually not their fault. And it's not as if they are living below expectation. No, that is actually their level. As sad as that may be, that is who they are. And sometimes I feel as if an average Caucasian will look at us, all African, because of the action of some of these people who have refused to let other people go, so that at least the image of the black race can be lifted. That some of these Caucasians will be looking at us collectively, with the kind of resources we have and the kind of suffering we are going through. They look at us collectively as truly, we are incapable of developing ourselves. That truly, that suffering somehow is actually what we were created for. And they can genuinely feel that. And when somebody feels genuinely like that, you cannot stop the person from coming to your backyard and taking that resources that should have made your life better and better his own place. Because guess what? Even if he needs this for you for the next 100 years, he believed genuinely that you won't do anything meaningful with it. You shouldn't have even been in fairness to nature that such people should come and even kill you to take that resources that belongs to you because they leave it for you when he gets here. You can use it for anything. Our people, I believe that we as a people should know that in this issue of being peace, being peaceful in itself is not a virtue. It's a virtue for those who are weak. When you are peaceful because you can deal with this person and yet you choose peace, that is when you are truly, truly peaceful. But our people see being weak as being peaceful. Most of us are just being weak. Instead of we to fight for what is ours, we say, what can we do? Let's take it later. We can manage one can. That is being weak. That is not being peaceful. A peaceful man is that man who has every means and resources to bring chaos to you, and yet, for the sake of certain things, he choose peace. And nature will never fight for the weak, ever. It is until you grow up and fight. Allah Biafra will not fight for you when you are lying down sleeping. Allah Biafra will support you when you fight. No, Mazi Jonathan.
There were Mazi Obase, Udodrege. You taught something which I will pick up one day. You see this Nollywood. You see Nollywood. I will remember them, honestly. Although me, it's a long time. I don't even watch their nonsense. They contributed a lot in demonizing anything concerning us as a people, even to foreigners. Because for the Nollywood, foreigners watch it. They took us like, you see America. The whole world look at America through their movies, number one, before even you travel to America. You take America as people, you see how they promote their culture. In America, they don't have a minister of culture, but their culture is promoted through their movie. Give orangutan a gun, he will use it to start killing his brother, shooting himself even. That is it. Our people have the capability with what do you call it? Nollywood, and they start using it, shooting ourselves, making just to make money, inciting hatred even more on our values. And guess now they are here. Our people have command of. They have a weapon to set straight, promoting our values, teaching our people things that matter, things that we should know. No, they set up using Nollywood, their platform, to demonize anything concerning us. You see what Nollywood contributed in our land? In Nollywood, you see, it contributed immensely to the demonization of anything concerning Ndibo. I nenye poison. Menalaye also ihe ọjọọ. Onye we akwa red na tezu. Hey, onye ahụ. Hey, Nollywood contributed for me more than 80% of this demonization. I am telling you. It is not foreigners that did it. It is ourselves. I cannot understand for the goodness of me. That is why You see, when they call people that went to school, went to universities, to get PhD, say they are intellectuals, it baffles me. It baffles me a lot. You can see somebody that has seven PhDs, but they don't have common sense. If our people have common sense, do we need to teach them Nollywood and say, look, use your platform to promote our culture, promote who we are, so that when people see us anywhere, they embrace us. Say, oh, this good. I saw you in Nollywood. The same way they do in Hollywood, the American movies, portray the America as everything good in the eyes of the world. But in our own, no way. Nollywood. We must that is the type of civilization. It's part of it, I talk. Because what matters to them is what they can get in their pocket. They don't care about our collectivity. They don't care about what they are portraying. That is not their problem. And the Nigerian government supports them. Are you hearing me? How many Igbo people do you see, right? Igbo musicians. Let me just ask this question. How many Igbo big musicians have you seen singing against government brutality and the ears of, let's say, Nigerian government in our land? Just if there is anybody you big, not all these small tertiary musicians, I mean big non-Igbo musicians. How many? Does it not tell you the type of people that can betray anything for money? It's only in this IPOB now that our musicians are. Well, I mean normal Igbo musicians. What they are pushed into singing is Ibutike. We show that we can make money. And now flaunt cars and money. That is where they are pushed. Look at, you see somebody like Abdul Karim or Abdul Aziz, the Yoruba singer. You see how he's castigating to the extent even during the time of Obasanjo declared him persona non grata and he ran away from Nigeria. Because he sang, till today he's singing the ears of the society. Which Igbo big musician can do that? You see, the other day I talked about the Freemason puzzle you call the Bible. He said, he who hates his life gets it. He who loses his life will have it. But he who loves his life will lose it. That is what we are suffering from. We love life. We love something very easy. That is why we love shortcut. Average woman like a shortcut to anything. That is why we are lured into miracle. Native doctor scammers. Just we are lured easily because we always want to shortcut to no due process. Just shortcut. Very easy. I'm with the So check our musicians. Listen to what they are singing. Listen. I mean big musicians. Nothing more, nothing. They don't even sing about. Look at Fela Kuti. Look at Fela Kuti. He was jailed several times, even killed. Look at others, even in Yoruba land. Can you see it in Igbo land? Igbo man, how are you? That's why sometimes I not Namde Kano, no mugu. Na ga trandi Igbo na because it's strange to them. Do you see our weak point? And our enemies, they know this. This is our weak point. Now ya choro suffering. Ya choro suffer. We are weak. We since 1970, they turned us into a weak race that we are not. A people that without a standing army, from 1967 to 1970, Kodema Debo built a Biafran army right from, he inherited no army, as he wrote in his book. He inherited no army. He built it right from scratch and resisted every corner for 3 years. I just turn into a very weakling. Yeah, I know in your warning. I bamba. I make. When you say, okay, you don't want to come out. Contribute. You have the money to do it. Contribute, even secretly, so that your name will not be mentioned to what we are doing. But you want us to do miracle as people that can like a shortcut. You want IPOB to be doing miracle. Now, our bushy now have for an investment. Where is the now? Get joy now. How can you contribute to? And now, they get money now. Wait. Yes, you are very easy, you man. You look at the mentality. Guess now. What can be she chef? Oh, happen there? Can fall and you go on your neighbor. So that we learn the hard way as we are learning. We have people that flaunt riches. We have people that can call secretly and if they donated $300,000, $500,000, it's nothing to them. But would they do it? Because they want something, they put money and say, nah, so that they will be in control of it. Or they will get gain. Nah, get my benefit. Nah, get my interest. Nah. That is primitive character. When the people cannot invest on their future generation, it's primitivity. It's high primitivity. You see them flaunting. You are driving G-Wagon Mercedes 2024 model, and you ask the person, do you know the Mercedes you are driving that started since time immemorial, 20th century? Do you know that it entered from generation to generation and we are nurturing it till today? That is why you were able to now be boasting with Mercedes you cannot produce. Can you engage and nurture a business venture like that for generations? For 200, 300 years? When they tell you to invest on it, say, nah, why will I wait for to invest for something I cannot gain? What if in the next 50 years I will die now? Waiting be my gain. What of your future generations? That is part of civilization. When people can build selflessly for their future generations. And that is what IPOB is initiating. Thank you for listening. Biafra remains who we are. Biafra remains our religion. Biafra is our ideology. That is it. If you have any other ideology other than Biafra, know that you've not started. We must continue in order to make sure that Biafra is restored. Thank you for listening. For me, from here, it is simply good.
Difficulty. The rise of militant groups in the Sahel region, often with external backing, creates an environment of instability and fear. These groups, exploiting discontent and socio-economic disparities, pose a significant threat to Traoré's government. His efforts to address extremism's root causes through development and inclusive governance face resistance. as external actors benefit from the chaos and use it as a pretext for intervention. Traore's safety is a constant concern. His security team must stay vigilant against assassination attempts and coordinated attacks. Intelligence reports have uncovered numerous plots against him, orchestrated by a mix of local and foreign actors. The complexity of these plots underscores the high stakes involved and the determination of his enemies. Despite these challenges, Traoré draws strength from the unwavering support of the Burkinabe people. His grassroots connections and genuine concern for their welfare have built a strong base of support that has so far resisted his adversaries' efforts. The people's belief in his vision acts as both his shield and his sword, allowing him to move forward despite the dangers. Traoré's ability to communicate his vision and rally the masses has been crucial to his resilience. His speeches, filled with messages of hope, resilience, and self-determination, deeply resonate with a population long yearning for change. This connection with the people makes it difficult for his enemies to turn public opinion against him, despite their best efforts. Moreover, Traoré has strategically built alliances with other African leaders who share his vision. These alliances provide mutual support and create a network of solidarity that collectively resists external pressures. By promoting a Pan-African approach, Traoré not only strengthens his position, but also contributes to a broader movement to redefine Africa's place in the world. In the grand story of African liberation, Ibrahim Traoré's tale is still being written. His life, marked by courage and conviction, stands as a symbol of hope for those who dream of a future where Africa is free from external control. Yet, it also serves as a reminder of the great risks faced by those who pursue such a future. But has something like this ever happened before to African leaders? Historically, African leaders who dared to assert true independence and self-determination have faced similar perils. Patrice Lumumba of Congo, Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, and Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. All were leaders whose lives were violently cut short as they pushed against the currents of neo-colonial control. Their stories serve as stark reminders of the dangers Ibrahim Traoré faces as he walks a path fraught with peril. Patrice Lumumba, the first Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo, is one of the most notable examples. Lumumba's vision for a united, independent Congo free from the exploitative grip of foreign powers made him a significant threat to the established order. His tenure was marked by efforts to gain full control over the country's rich natural resources, which had long been plundered by colonial and corporate interests. Lumumba's refusal to align with Western powers during the Cold War and his appeal to the Soviet Union for assistance sealed his fate. In 1961, Lumumba was arrested, tortured, and ultimately assassinated with the involvement of both Belgian authorities and the CIA. Extreme measures that would be taken to prevent African nations from slipping out of Western control. Thomas Sankara, often called Africa's Che Guevara, is another tragic figure in the history of African liberation. As the president of Burkina Faso, Sankara implemented sweeping reforms aimed at reducing poverty, fighting corruption, and promoting gender equality. His policies included land redistribution, nationalizing key industries, and rejecting foreign aid, which he saw as a form of neo-colonialism. Sankara's vision of self-sufficiency and his bold rhetoric against Western imperialism made him a target. In 1987, he was assassinated in a coup d'etat orchestrated by his close ally Blaise Compaoré, who had the backing of foreign interests opposed to Sankara's radical changes. Sankara's assassination underscored the dangers faced by leaders who challenge international norms and local power structures. Muammar Gaddafi of Libya presents a more complex narrative. Gaddafi came to power in 1969 an aligned monarchy. Over the years, he pursued a vision of Pan-Africanism and sought to reduce Western influence in Africa. Gaddafi used Libya's oil wealth to fund various African liberation movements and proposed ambitious projects aimed at unifying the continent. However, his regime also became increasingly autocratic, leading to significant internal opposition. In 2011, amid the Arab Spring, a NATO-led intervention, purportedly to protect civilians, resulted in Gaddafi's overthrow and brutal killing. The Western powers' involvement in Gaddafi's demise highlighted the geopolitical stakes in Africa and the lengths to which external forces would go to protect their interests. These historical precedents show a clear pattern. African leaders who pursue genuine independence and challenge the global status quo often meet violent ends. Ibrahim Traore's situation bears eerie similarities to these past leaders. His efforts to nationalize industries, reduce foreign dependency, and foster regional unity echo the policies that led to the demise of Lumumba, Sankara, and Gaddafi. This historical context amplifies the risks Traore faces and underscores the precarious nature of his position. Now the question is, how far the external forces can go to attack Traore. The most recent attempt on Ibrahim Traore's life was a stark reminder of the volatile situation he faced as the leader of Burkina Faso. Gunfire erupted near the presidential residence, sending shockwaves through the capital, Ouagadougou. This brazen attack not only caused immediate alarm, but also ignited public protests, with Traore's supporters pouring into the streets to show their unwavering support for his government. These incidents highlight the urgent need for robust security measures to protect Traore and stabilize his administration. The night of the attack was tense. As shots rang out near the presidential residence, it became clear that this was not just a random act of violence, but a targeted attempt on Traore's life. Security forces quickly responded, engaging the assailants in a firefight that lasted several minutes.